In this video, I'm going to show you how to modify an IKEA cabinet to suit an island or a peninsula situation. Now, with the different filler panels and a couple of different methods that I'm going to show you today, is just gives you some confidence on how to modify it so it looks like a custom feature. Check out my 5-part IKEA series where we do a full kitchen start to finish, in the description there are timestamps so you can find the part where I show you how to modify some cabinets for a different type of peninsula. Similar, but this one's very simple. The other one was a little more complicated. All right, so let's just get into it. You can see what we have here. This situation's a little different because this cabinet here is actually gonna have drawers. And I'm helping my buddy Tim finish this kitchen out for him because he's got too many other things on the go. So I've kind of stepped into the middle of this, but kind of what I've done, I guess the first thing I do is because I modify it, typically you'll have these brackets for the rail system. They'll be sitting on there like that. So I just remove those. And the bottoms will have these type of brackets or spacers. I take those off. Now keep in mind, this piece of MDF, I kind of jumped the gun. I should have shown you this when it was just the plywood base that we build, and that's custom as well. But the back of this box is flush with the actual base. And same with the front of this cabinet is flush with the front of the base. Now this is a 1-inch thick piece of MDF, and that just butts into his baseboard, and there's a bunch of detail I won't go over. But at the end of the day, what I like to do is I like to add support for this flimsy back panel so that when I screw on a back panel or plywood or anything like that, it's solid. I can, if I need to, build a corbel or a bracket to hold granite or another countertop. I can put the bracket here and screw it from the inside and it's solid. I'm not screwing onto flimsy stuff. Now the other thing that's to keep in mind while you're doing this is you don't have to stick with the IKEA panels. Like this, we're doing MDF because the customer feels like, okay, there's a lot of gray happening here. So we're either gonna paint this or do an accent, and we won't see that at the end of the video because, you know, I'll probably be done by the end of this. So who knows when we'll see the finished product. But what I'm alluding to is if you did 3/4-inch plywood here, you could tile it or put stone on it, right? So you can modify a fairly inexpensive IKEA system, but make it look fancy or high-end just by adding some tile or stone. So what I'm doing today, instead of MDF, just trade that off with plywood. Something that you could add some different finishes to, okay? Or if you want to keep it simple, like my other 5-part, the full series is, I just use the IKEA panels, but did it in a way that it looks really sleek and there's no cheesy fillers and cheesy little add-ons to hide my blemishes. Anyway, let's, first thing I did, so I've pre-installed some L brackets here. And I just went into the gables, make sure I don't poke through or anything. So I have 2 there, 3 along the bottom, and then I just get some 3/8 plywood to fill this space. Now I have that pre-cut. She went a little bowed on me, but we'll see how this works with those L brackets. So that's all pre-cut. Now this situation is a little tricky because I had to get some number 6 by 1/2-inch screws just so it doesn't poke through this 3/8 panel. I'm just going to try to screw the middle first because she's bowed. Okay, so that's pretty decent. Maybe I'll do 2 more screws just to temporarily hold it, and then I'll leave some screws available if I want to actually screw right through and tie into my actual finish panel. Okay, so that's pretty solid right now. Decent. I've already pre-cut my piece of MDF. And I just added these 2x4 blocks just to keep it all solid together so that if something gets shifted, the door doesn't have a gap later on. So here I haven't actually figured out my screw length yet. But if I pre-drill and do some 1-inch screws, then I could just screw right through into this panel. But really, what I wanted to do is I've added this special feature. Like IKEA has these pre-built toe kicks that actually, I can't remember what they call it, but it builds it out, makes it look thick and bulky on an island, which is a nice look. I had to customize my own, so I just did 1-inch MDF. But this panel, what I've done is I just got to scooch it out flush here. And then the customer has the option to, depending on the look of their whole kitchen, they can paint this and they can paint this, because this is actually a wood grain panel, not like a vinyl wrap panel, so that'll be easy to paint. They can paint this, but if you come over here, what I've done is I've just butted it up right up to the edge of this cabinet. So this just butts up close, and then these drawers just come, it just matches the rest of the system. But what's cool about this is this adds just a little dimension so that when the drawers, this overhangs a bit and just kind of gives you a unique look. You can see now that if I need to add a corbel or a bracket, I have sufficient backing. I can just put the bracket here, zing it in from this side, and then it can just just hang out and be solid. So that's the other reason why I modify and remove some of those brackets. But really, that's kind of it at the end of the day is, keep it simple, make sure you have enough backing, and whether it's this situation or you use one of my other videos as an example, just trying to give you guys ways to modify it, give it some unique features, and make it look custom. So with that, thanks for tuning in. Check, check, microphone, check.